We're back. Loki episode 3.
Lamentus.
Lamentus. It's gamer episode.
It's actually very fun, interesting. I loved it. In terms of story, and it definitely takes the story, or kind of puts the story into a way that I didn't really think Loki would be going. But
Yeah, it's interesting.
yeah. But to start off, we go just a little bit before the Loki's dip at the end of episode 2. We see Sylvie, and it is later confirmed her name is Sylvie, so Cole was right, I was half right.
We were actually we're both right. It's
Yeah,
Lady Loki, but it's Sylvie.
it's a combination, and
Yeah, it's a combination of both.
yeah, we see Sylvie interrogating C20. We see what is a past memory of C20, of which we will get into probably for predictions. Oh yeah, by the way, spoilers for this breakdown review and predictions. That's what we're doing. We're professional. But yeah, we find out that the timekeepers are behind, or are you get to them by going through a golden elevator, which we see very briefly before Loki shows up and ruins everything after Sylvie has literally disintegrated multiple people. Also, we established that Sylvie does know how to fight. Like, straight up. Anyway, Loki and Sylvie, they get in over their head, and they're about to be, like, deleted or whatever. I forget
5v
exactly.
judge.
Yeah. And Loki decides to open a portal right beneath them, and they are sent to Lamentus 1 in 2077, which is
It's
an
a
alien world.
lining.
Yeah. Basically, it's another apocalypse where the TVA would never find them. And so that's a problem for them because they run out of power. Their tempad, right? Yeah, tempad is out of juice, so they can't hop again. But this is the worst apocalypse because there's nowhere to go because the whole planet is literally being destroyed. We got this Krypton level event where
There's the planet is gumming into the moon.
yeah, so you know that scene from Avengers Endgame where like the whole moon's coming? It's that. Like
Yeah.
everybody dies this time.
Except it's a giant.
Yeah, except it's a giant planet, so good stuff there. But yeah, a lot of this is kind of like a road trip and Sylvie and Loki trying to trust each other even though they're both backstabbing Lokis in one way or another. So it's really interesting dynamic.
Yeah. And they're running around this planet for most of the episode, or the whole episode, because it ends with them stuck on the moon. And one of the first things we see is that she tries to enchant Loki.
It doesn't work. His mind's too powerful.
Yeah. And I think it's very interesting this episode. I felt like maybe I'm leaning too much into this, but they kept saying enchant, enchant. I felt like the word just kept coming up, which is kind of just implying that enchantress character eventually, hopefully.
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of get into a little bit more of Sylvie's background, a little bit more of the character study that is Loki. So we get a little bit from both. We kind of learn where Loki learned his magic and how Sylvie learned her magic, in which she just kind of learned it by herself when Loki had his mom. We also see that Sylvie was told she was adopted, which is pretty funny, where Loki was like, spoiler alert. She's like, nah, dude, I already knew. He's like, what?
Yeah, that's once they get on the train to go to the Ark.
Oh yeah, the train. I should probably talk about that. We also see this this big difference between Loki and Sylvie. Sylvie's more gung ho and like I'm gonna chop off your head or whatever, where Loki's more deceptive.
He's more big brain.
Yeah, he's more big brain, and he's putting on disguises, and he disguises as a as a husband at one point to find some information. He gets blasted. He then disguises as a guard, and that works. And it's quite interesting seeing these two team up in some certain scenarios.
And that's when they get on the train.
Yeah. So the whole episode is like trying to get to an arc, which is gonna lift people off the planet and stuff and save everybody, but they want to use the power source from the arc to jump. So it's like, I mean, they're all gonna die anyway, so just like take the power source. And I was thinking, oh, maybe that's why nobody escapes, is because they take the power. It doesn't matter.
No.
But and we'll get into that. But on the train we can learn a lot. There's a lot about this discussion of love. We've got love is hate, love is mischief, and then later after Loki gets drunk, or I'm not sure he can really get drunk, but love is a dagger.
Imaginary dagger.
An imaginary dagger. Yeah, and Loki sings at one point. He's singing, having a party, and then he does the classic Thor another one, where he smashes his cup down. Great callback to the first Thor movie.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
Yeah.
Then a fight breaks out on the train. They get literally chucked out of the train, which is pretty funny. And then the temp pad is broken.
Destroyed.
Utterly destroyed. And so they start walking on back, and Sylvie and Loki talk about how enchantments happen again, and basically she explains like you want to explain
it's
this?
Interesting because on the train Loki shares a lot about himself and about really how he feels about his mother, and he tells the story about over the water and the fireworks. This whole time Sylvie's kind of like, yeah, whatever, I can't trust you. They get thrown out of the train together, or she kind of follows him, really. You see her kind of let down the guard a little bit because they need to trust each other to get out of this situation. Yeah. And she opens up.
Yeah, but we also learn that for the stronger mind, for those with stronger minds that resist the enchantments, she has to go into their memories and pull them into that, of which we saw with C20, which shouldn't make any sense because supposedly they were created by the timekeepers. But Cole, what's the twist?
The twist is that she was on Earth eventually, and she's a variant herself.
Yes.
C20.
All of the TVA are time variants of one kind or another. So that's really interesting. They were not created by the timekeepers. So we're kind of getting into that, like, pretty sure the timekeepers don't exist.
Yeah, we're edging closer to this.
Or some kind of big conspiracy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then we get this killer one-shot. Or one take, or whatever that's called.
Was it a one take?
It was. I was looking at it the entire time. As soon as they enter the city, it doesn't cut.
Maybe a little stitch cut. We'll call it.
No, it's like clearly they'll go like behind something. It's like boom.
Yeah.
But like, it's kind of, and I mean, I think they do that.
Continuity wise, it's
like 1917, right?
1917. Yeah.
It's
one of my favorite movies.
I haven't seen it. I do want to see it, but it's kind of like that where it's you can see there are bits where it goes behind something and cuts, but it's like it's one big shot and it's really cool. Yeah. But then the Ark is hit by a giant rock, and so all their meaningless fighting is nothing.
So yeah, after the temp pad is destroyed, they think, oh, we'll just get on the Ark and board the Ark, and we'll save the Ark, and we'll go away. And then the Ark
gets destroyed.
Yeah.
And so it ends with Sylvie walking away in utter disappointment, Loki just being like, bruh, and cut.
There's also an interesting scene, I thought, when they're running towards the Ark and they're in this big fight sequence with everybody. When that tower comes, and Loki just rewind, like
he pushes it away. It looks like.
Which I thought was really
we haven't seen Loki use.
Yeah, we haven't seen some of the, like, it just teases more of his power. We also see a scene after they jump off the train with with Sylvie when she just screams and lets out like all her frustration, and then you have a little power surge and she like blows dust away, which probably is related to that same power Loki pushed giant object.
Exactly. But yeah, pretty much that's the episode. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. Great stuff. Great cinematography. Great.
Yeah, it's a good
colors.
episode, and of course with the title Lamentus, it goes to the word lament, which is to like have grief over someone that's passed.
This episode is brought to you by the word lament.
You see that a lot with Loki. I mean, technically he hasn't seen his mom die yet, but he
already talks as if she has died.
Yeah, he's still kind of getting over like what he saw in Owen Wilson's magical room.
Yeah, because we have to remember this is Loki coming straight out of Avengers, the first one. So Thor: The Dark World has not happened yet. So
also an interesting fact, we see at the very beginning of the episode. Sorry, I forgot to talk about this. When Sylvie's in the TVA, she tries to use her magic.
Oh
yeah. So it makes me think she actually doesn't know a lot about the TVA besides like, the little she knows about like the bombs and the impact.
Yeah, she doesn't know the specifics of it, but we see that magic does not work again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting. Review. What do you put it as?
Review?
Yeah.
You want me to start off?
Yeah, I mean I always start off, but I'll let you do it so I don't like
Scale.
Scale. Beautiful scale.
Last episode we had it at 8.5.
Yeah, we had
8. I mean, if I was memeing, I would say this is lower because there's no Owen Wilson, but I like this episode a lot. You see a lot of in-depth character like analysis. These two seemingly similar characters, but they're different in a lot of ways.
Yeah, different in subtle ways.
And I'd give it like an 8.5 again. I mean, this series. I mean, if Marvel is one thing, they're consistent. Unlike some people that are at the lower end of the scale. And
Barry breakdancing.
So yeah, 8.5. I mean, and I think they keep setting this up for some big. Like this episode, we didn't even get into anything with the messed up timeline from what she did with all the bombs.
No.
We didn't get anything with the timekeepers. So these last 3 episodes, depression, are going to be, I think, spectacular.
Yeah. So I was gonna say the same thing. 8.5. I know that Tom Hiddleston said that his favorite episodes were 4 and 5. So I'm really excited to see like what's coming up in these next 2. Because if the Marvel shows have been anything, they've been great in the last 2 episodes. The
last half. I mean, all the shows I feel. I mean, they take these big setup swings and then they knock it out of the park every time. They've shown us that.
Yeah. So yeah, solid 8.5, almost and above, to infinity and beyond. Woo!
To infinity and beyond.
Prediction.
Cool. Predictions. I don't have a ton. I mean, we kind of went over. I mean, my still big one is that like, I think in Owen Wilson's past or Mobius's past, he definitely had something with water skis. Maybe he had a family, and his like best memory is them on a water ski or jet ski.
Jet ski business.
Yeah, something like I feel like the jet ski is like some like. Unconscious thing or subconscious thing. So there's that. I'm really hoping that prediction wise, since there was
what do you think? How do you think they're gonna get off the planet?
Off the planet. The easiest way is that Mobius finds him somehow, but could call out to Thor. That'd be interesting because Thor might have the powers of Odin at this point, or the Odin Force, because it is
2077.
It's
You're
2077, right. So it's definitely possible that he could call out to Thor or the next Heimdall, or if that's even possible.
Valkyrie.
Or Valkyrie, or I feel like something from Asgard is definitely not off the table. I mean, we know that Asgardians can survive in space. Loki drops off the Rainbow Bridge, and Thor survives the whole ship being exploded on him. So we know that they're resilient. So,
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think that he could. I don't know if that they would do that. I think
that would be really interesting, though, seeing like an older Thor.
that'd be weird. I don't think that'll happen.
I doubt it too, but
Especially
that'd be a crazy twist.
That would be a crazy twist. That'd be cool to see like an older version of Valkyrie or some Asgardian character that we know.
I mean, Lady Sif is alive.
Hmm?
They never showed Lady Sif getting speared by Hela, so
you're right. Alive. So that's also a possibility.
Yeah.
The thing is, they didn't touch. I mean, they literally didn't even talk about what happened with time.
Absolutely not. So I mean, there's a whole lot to predict.
What the position the TVA is to start finding out some of this stuff. But of course, I think our biggest prediction together, both of ours, timekeeper thing, something's definitely off.
Something wacky there. I definitely think that in terms of here's one. I definitely think that not all of the multiverse is going to be solved. Like, they're not going to like, all right, these next couple episodes we're going to go through and snip these off. And
they're obviously leave it open-ended, I think, for Doctor Strange. But I think definitely we get Doctor Strange. We definitely get multiverse, and I think we see the TVA shut down, which I said a while ago, and I think we see like them try to return some of the TVA people to like their variant universe, whatever.
Yeah,
and we're having.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting. The MCU is definitely going to be different in one way or another. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was wrong. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Feige definitely opening it up.
Good episode, good stuff. Not a lot to predict because our predictions have stayed the same.
Yeah, I mean, they kept it consistent.
Yep.
The path that they're taking.
So really interesting, or interested how they're going to get off and what these next couple episodes have in store. So other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Avengers Campus video soon?
Oh yeah, Avengers Campus vlog. Let's go. Yeah, I know. You're gonna leave that out. I'm gonna look like an idiot.